I am Theresa Seiler. I have marketed grain for fellow NFO members for about 4 years now. I think it's important to talk about what NFO is, and in my opinion, NFO is producers working together. When my husband and I joined NFO, we did that because of the grain marketing program, even though grain is not the only commodity that we have as members of NFO. So Grain Marketing Plus is the thing, like I said, that brought my husband and I into NFO. But the question is, what's going to happen this year? I will tell you January 1st, 2025. Nobody knows the answer, okay? What I do know is that all of the farmers that I know raise their crop, have livestock, etc., so that they can sell their product and they can provide for their families. I don't know anyone who doesn't need to do that, need to cover their inputs, etc. So let's take a look at what we've seen for prices recently. I used May 7th because I started to do that when I first worked on this program. Look at 2020. Only 4 years ago, corn was $2.98, wheat was 4.5-ish, milo was $3.45, and soybeans were $7.94. None of us want to see those, but we are closer to them now than we were in the middle of this at 2022. So we know that the markets are cyclical, and like I said, every year we need to sell our crop, so we have to figure out how to do that. Now, one of the things that I noticed when I look at the futures, this is the corn futures. You see the nice spike up there from 21 up to 23, and then it started to come down in 24. You see a similar picture when we look at the wheat futures and the soybeans. They're not exactly the same, but like I said, we go through these cycles, and we still plan to go out next year and plant a crop, harvest it, and sell it. And we want to do the best we can to get a price that will help us do it the following year as well. So we have to look at what is it that influences our prices. Of course, there is that supply and demand. When we have a drought and the supply is less, then there is a benefit to the price. That only helps if you're not the guy who's experiencing the drought. Unfortunately, it takes some part of the world to have a problem in order for another part to be able to benefit from it. Also the demand, as the economies of the world change, people will start to adjust what they're eating, what they're buying, etc. I already touched a little bit about the weather. It is a deciding factor in what happens. Even if you have irrigation, still that water from the sky is much better than what we can put on through a pivot. One of my least favorite influences on the market is the USDA reports, and that's because we can see a report coming out, what people are thinking is going to happen, and kind of have in our mind what ought to happen, and then exactly the opposite will happen the day of the report, and then we have to have that recovery period. One of the things you need to remember as a producer is that the traders make money as long as the market moves. They do not care if the market is going up or down. They are in and out, and they are making margins on it. Most of us don't have the time or the energy to follow the markets like that. Personally, I don't have the stomach for that, but you need to keep that in mind. Of course, this year, we're painfully aware of the fact that there's election going on, and that will influence our prices. Good or bad, I'm not sure yet. And of course, in the last few years, we have noticed, we've seen some changes go or take place because of the wars the pandemic, who knows what's next. So in order to market your crops successfully, you need to know your cost of production and what goes into it, because if you don't know what it costs you, how do you know if you're making money when you sell it or not? So as I said, you need to know your cost of production, and then you know what a profitable level is. What I like to do, I like to put in offers so that I can focus on other things, not my computer screen. And what I have seen is a lot of times the market will hit a high overnight that we won't see the following day, and that's when I have my most successful sales, is when I put in an offer, I don't watch it, and then I get that call. If you're concerned about the direction of the market, you can get into options. I know a lot of producers who are not interested in options. It is a gamble. We know that the majority of options expire worthless, so if you're going to get in, you have to have discipline to watch it and to get out at the right time. And of course, if the price of your grain goes up after you've made a sale, make another sale. Keep selling on the way up. So one of the benefits that we have through our Grain Marketing Plus program is each morning I send out a email. It comes from U.S. Commodities, but I send it to our members, and it tells market news, market direction, gives some strategies of what to do. And so if you are not on that list and would like to be, you should give me your email. This is my contact information. As I said, you can contact me and I will get you the morning review. I can also offer you marketing services. There are actually 2 emails that go out each morning. I do the morning review. I pass it along, but the Institute of Rural America, we saw a slide up here earlier as one of our sponsors. They provide the service of an email. It's called Meet FYI, and it has multiple news stories in it every day about what's going on in agriculture, sometimes with reference to some of the big boys, what they're doing in their businesses. You know, we have articles about what's happening with JBS and Cargill, etc. Kind of gives us some insight as to what might be influencing your prices, etc. So you can send me that too. I won't directly send you Meet FYI, but I can get your name on the list.